7:41, we hear a lot about a growing compensation culture in the UK, but nowhere is this more apparent than when it comes to traffic accidents.
And whiplash in particular. Whiplash claims coming in now at a rate of 1,500 every day.
They cost insurers £2 billion in payouts a year.
And they add £90 to the average annual motor insurance policy.
Well, the government's planning a crackdown and wants to introduce measures to weed out false claims. So here to discuss the proposals are Jeanette Miller, who's a personal injury lawyer, and Dr. Rosemary Leonard. Very good morning to you both. Dr. Rosemary Leonard, claimants will have to obtain doctor's certificates verifying whiplash from independent medical panels, one of the proposals, rather than just going to a GP.
One of the biggest problems about whiplash is there is actually no real medical test to diagnose it. If someone comes into my surgery and said, oh, someone hit my car from behind and I've got whiplash, I can examine them, I can maybe find a bit of muscle spasm and they can go ooh, ah, as I check their neck. I may have an inkling that actually there's not an awful lot wrong with them, but I actually have no way of diagnosing whether they actually have a whiplash or not. It's one of the most difficult injuries to diagnose, and when I hear that Ken Clarke's going to have sort of independent medical panels, I'd be very interested to see how they are going to diagnose it, but at least they won't have the problem as I do, where we're trying to, if I said to someone who had a genuine whiplash, I don't think there's much wrong with you, they could quite rightly formally complain. You know, make a formal complaint about me. It's very difficult.
And if it's costing everybody who insures their car £90 a year, isn't it time there was a crackdown?
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that, Bill. I think that this proposal, in some respects, is a bit of a red herring, because I agree with Dr. Rosemary. Independent medical panels, it's a bit of a nonsense. There already are independent doctors who examine claimants for personal injury claims. They have a very strict and overriding duty to the court, where they have to give an independent opinion. So
that's if it goes to court.
Well, and regardless of whether it goes to court or not, there still has to be an independent opinion given by a medical expert, not necessarily a GP, could be a consultant, depending on what the injury is. So this proposal, it's nothing new, frankly, and I don't think it's actually going to do anything to crack down on this supposed
Well, what would be the answer
culture.
in your view then?
I honestly don't know. I think it's very difficult, because if you do implement any proposals that are on the table at the moment, to be honest, my concern is the genuinely innocent victim, because it will be harder for them to claim. It will be easier for the insurance industry to use tactics that make it harder for the innocent victim. And yes, there are fraudulent claims, but we've also got to look at why that seems to have spiralled. And I think we're in the midst of a recession where there are claims management companies. I was talking before, you get texts all the time, have you had an accident? And there are cash inducements to people to pursue claims. You know, there's billboards up all over the place for £500 for your claim. That's the real issue in my view.
Yeah, one of the criticisms, Rosemary, is that there are also financial inducements for GPs, because apparently doctors can receive a fee of up to £195 to process a whiplash claim, and some GPs have a database of solicitors. You know, there is a sort of client relationship even with the legal profession there. Now that would strike people as a little bit odd.
Those medical reports generally are done by specialists, they're not done by GPs. So if someone's got a whiplash claim going through, the medical notes will go to probably an orthopaedic surgeon or someone who specialises in neck injuries. They will look at what we've written down. We, as a GP, we don't do those claims. And in fact, the orthopaedic surgeons who are doing them, I know lots of them, they try to be very fair. They are aware there is a problem with this. Actually, for them, yes, some of them are doing a lot, but it's not a lot of money. They're trying to be fair. As GPs, what happens with us is that patients come in and see us. We write down on the medical records as accurately as we can. Then, if there's a claim going on, we get asked for copies of the medical records. Now, in a lot of these cases, the maximum we can charge is £50. If we're doing copies and we have a receptionist spending a long time doing that, in fact, it hardly barely covers our costs.
Right. If there are 1,500 cases coming in every day, and the number of claims is going up, and the number of accidents is going down, we must be getting a situation where there are people who are repeat victims, surely.
Yes.
And if someone's had more than one claim for whiplash, wouldn't you think, how very odd?
I don't think you think it's odd. It's unfortunate if somebody continually has accidents. I think it becomes odd when we're talking about dozens of claims, or perhaps maybe more than 3 or 4 in as many years. But no, if you've been involved in an accident.
Quick straw poll. Have you ever had been hit from behind?
Yes,
by whiplash?
I have, and I have had 2 accidents. One of which made me go into this area of law, because I had a really serious back injury. I was off work for 2 months, and I was treated quite badly by the insurer on the other side, and they tried to lay all sorts of allegations at me. So in that respect, I have quite a lot of empathy for the true victim, but I do also understand there are quite a lot of fraudulent claims out there, but how you stop that, I just don't know.
The only way you do it is you actually video them leaving the doctor's surgery.
Yeah.
And we're aware that some people come in and they go ooh-ah to us, and then they saunter out and they go off to the pub.
But you can't change your diagnosis at that point.
Excuse
No.
Okay, I have to leave it there.
Rosemary Jeanette, thanks
Chokes
very much indeed. I think Rosemary, your services may be
required.
called to action
All right, now.
this morning.
12 minutes to 8. This is breakfast. These are the main stories this morning. Over